Well, good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. Really glad you could join me today out here in the vegetable garden. It's a beautiful day here in late October. Well, anyhow, we often have viewers ask me the question, where do I buy my row covers from for my low tunnel hoop houses, or what type of cloth do I use? And so I'm going to talk about that today. So thanks for joining me out here in the vegetable garden. So years ago I used to plant my brassica plants out in the garden, out in the wide open, not under row covers. You know, and if you look in your garden, at least here in Pennsylvania Zone 6, you have the yellow whitish butterfly flying around in your garden. That's the cabbage butterfly, and it's looking for like your broccoli, your cabbage, your kale, and so on. You know, the ones that are in your plants that are in your brassica family, they're looking to lay eggs underneath your leaves, and they develop into worms and just devastate and chew up your plants. And so, and then, you know, if you go to harvest your broccoli, you have all these worms in your broccoli, which happened to me years ago, and it, you know, really grosses you out. And so I looked into an alternative method. I like to always emphasize organic gardening and not use pesticides in our garden. And so, you know, using the row covers really has helped protect the plants. It creates a nice micro environment inside the covers, and it protects the plants from the looper worm and the aphids, at least here in Pennsylvania. And so I ended up getting my row covers from a place called Rainflow Irrigation from Lancaster, PA. And they call their row covers Cover Tan. There's other names out there in the market, Agribond or Ramey, or they're kind of like a fleece. But the Cover Tan here protects against cold temperature, frost, wind, harmful insects, and birds. It's ideal for packing out early or later fall quality produce. This unique non-woven fabric has remarkable tear resistance and is UV stabilized. It allows up to 90% of the light to reach the crops, which provides ideal day and nighttime cover protection. These row covers are lightweight to gently protect young plants without crushing. It also protects against light frost, raising soil and air temperature by several degrees Fahrenheit. Now right now I have some of my broccoli that I planted in on August 3rd of this year. I have it right now underneath some row covers, and it has just flourished and thrived underneath these row covers. Now, what I get here from Rainflow, it's a Pro 19, it's 0.56 ounce per square yard, and it allows 85% light transmission. And the roll that I get is 11 foot by 500 foot, and it cost me $98. Now that roll lasts me around 4 years, and then I had to pay shipping, which was around another $30. And so, you know, that's a lot of row cover for that price. Maybe you don't, most gardeners won't need that length of row cover. But they also have a Pro 30, which is a 90 ounce per square yard, which allows 75% light transmission, and also a Pro 40, which is 1.2 ounce per square yard, which allows 70% light transmission. So the heavier the cloth, also it protects the plants from more frost protection. So if you Google row covers, you'll find there's a handful of garden supply houses where you can buy your row covers. Now, when I use my low tunnel hoop houses, those poles are typically 10 feet long, and you bury them into the ground 6 to 8 inches, something like that. But you want to make sure the row covers that you buy are at least 10 feet wide, and that way to leave some extra extra cloth along the edges so where you can put your weights. I personally use the bricks in here on my row covers if you've seen any of my videos here. And so, you know, depending on the length, you know, they sell them maybe in 25-foot lengths or 50-foot lengths depending on where you buy yours. And you can also just lay them right on your plants as long as it's lightweight, and then as your plants grow the cloth will lift up, although you still want to end up putting weights on the edge of your cloth. So let's go over and take a look at my row cover that I have underneath my covering my broccoli plants. And so right over here is where I have my broccoli plants that are covered by this row cover, and there is my roll of row cover that I ended up getting from Rainflow a couple years ago. But now that we're in the fall, the garden is definitely winding down. I still have some Hungarian hot peppers back there and some Swiss chard, and I still have some pepper plants here that have done really well this season. And you can see where I use bricks to hold down the edges. You do want to make sure you have them really weighted down, because some of the winds can blow these covers off your hoop house if you don't anchor it down really well. And so I removed the end cover so we could take a look at the broccoli that's being protected here. And I only end up getting a few holes in the leaves here or there, but for the most part they just really grow really well under these covers. So this is the roll of the row covers that I ended up getting. This was again an 11-foot by 500-foot roll. And you can see it's just a nice lightweight cloth here. It's really easy to install. You just cut it with a utility knife. And again, I end up putting in this hoop house here, I use the 1/2-inch rigid conduit. I also did some videos on how to install these row covers that you might want to also check out. But I also did a video installing these row covers over using PVC conduit, which is more user-friendly for homeowners. You don't have to bend your own metal hoops, which can be a little bit more difficult to do. Also on these row covers, you know, you can just take your hose and water right through the row covers, or you can also use a drip irrigation underneath the row covers, which also works out really well. Well, anyhow, I hope this video was able to give you some tips and ideas on using row covers in your garden. And let me encourage you to think about being proactive in your garden rather than reactive. You know, don't wait till those aphids and cabbage worms, you know, destroy your plants. You know, take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, a little bit of money up front and protect these plants. You know, it really makes my gardening season a lot more enjoyable because I don't have to become frustrated and overwhelmed by all these garden pests. And so it's really going to be a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. I'm looking forward to working out in the garden, and I have some garden cleanup I have to do. Well, anyhow, just want to thank you for joining me today out here in the garden. And if you have any questions or comments about this video, feel free to leave them in the section below. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so you can receive future videos. And you can also visit us at PlantSmartLiving.com. Well, anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.